keys in there because I just realized I did not bring my keys with me.
Waste of a fucking time.
Why does this always happen to us?
And it's like literally sitting there, it's like...
What is up, YouTube? I'm on a new rendition of leg day, so I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm doing right now for legs. I'm on a 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off split right now. So every 6 days, it shifts of what I'm doing. This is actually the more exciting of the 2 leg workouts. The second one is an like isometric hold thing, which is a little bit boring. But all the isometric holds that I'm doing are helping open up my hips, strengthen my knees, all the things I need to do to prevent injuries. But today, doing some split squats, I can't remember what the hell the machine's called. Glute ham raise, with a hip extension at the top, and some fun sled stuff to get me ready for sprinting and all that good shit. So it's early in the morning. I gotta lock this in. Starting here. Actually, I'm starting off with things called pogos, which is like, do you have pogo sticks here in America?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Jump on?
Yeah, I fucking love those things when I was a kid. But my warm-up is like a lot of the stuff I'm doing is trying to strengthen my feet, my toes, and my ankles and everything. So I'm warming up, and also coordination. Like, think of like if you play football or something, you do like the ladder drill and all those things to build that like foot coordination and everything. I do not have that right now, so rebuilding that. So pogos is like 1 foot at a time, kind of jumping on it in a 10-yard line, doing different motions, sideways, sideways, and then spinning. So warming up with that, get my foot, ankle awake, proprioception and all that, and then we're gonna jump into some split squats and move on from there. So that's what I got. This will be the thing that I get laughed at for. The pogo. This is bullshit. All right, that's the pogo warm up. Straight each leg. Actually, I missed. I'm supposed to do backwards. Straight each leg, sideways each way, each leg. Spin left, spin right each leg, and then backwards. I feel like different sides of my body are injured in different ways. My right hamstring is the one that I tore, and when I was a kid, I sprained my right ankle like numerous times playing football and basketball. So when I go from left to right on my foot, my left foot is like bouncing, and like if I'm approaching a basketball net trying to dunk, I'm a professional basketball player, I come up like here and I go off my left foot. And when I'm doing the pogo on my right foot, it feels so weak, like it's about to cripple, and my hamstring starts cramping. So, just noting that, I know I need to strengthen the ankle a lot more before I get into like sprinting and jumping and all that stuff, or I'm gonna cook myself. So, put a little bit more love on the right side and get myself ready to roll. But now I'm gonna move on to split squats, superset with hip extensions. I put the clips on. Whew, that's scary. Unilateral movements are way harder than heat. Hot in here. Wow. This will be the year I need to install air conditioning in here. Good for detoxing though. Drink out of a plastic water bottle and sweat out the plastic. Hope so. Alright, so normally I mix this up before I work out, but I lost my bottle in my truck. So leg day, hot as hell out there. I'm putting in a little bit of carbs and electrolytes in here. This is like a fructose glucose blend in here. We're making another carb product, which will be like 5+ different carb sources, but it also has 300 milligrams of sodium in it, some more electrolytes as well. But when I'm sweating my ass off like this, I need a lot of sodium. A little bit of EAAs to get my body rolling. And then this is just purely electrolytes. So I'm trying to get at least a gram of sodium equivalent there from the fuel and the replenish. Because 1 scoop of this is a gram, so I just did like a little scoop of that. EAAs, carbs, sodium electrolytes. Hot in here in Florida, so need to fuel the fuck up. I feel like the huge trend in electrolytes has been a gram of sodium minimum and everything. If you're fasted, if you're intermittent fasting and you wake up and you need something like a gram of sodium, totally agree, probably good for you, especially when you're really low carb. If you're running over an hour, totally agree, great for you. If you're sweating like this in Florida heat, totally agree. But for the average person who's not sweating their ass off and training for hours a day, I don't really think a full gram of sodium is really quite necessary in your electrolytes, which is why we have a hydration and a replenish. Hydration is more of like a daily electrolyte, but just remember that one. Sodium's good for you, but like all this promo of how great it is for you, the average person with all the food they eat, especially if you're eating processed food with a shit ton of sodium in it, you don't need a gram of sodium in your electrolytes as well, just a lot. So if you start to get headaches from having too much, tone it back. But what do I know? Absolutely nothing. Back to the 1 1/4 reps. These things haunted me last year. I got up to like, I got 5. Can't remember, I think I only did 5 places, 1 1/4 reps last year. A little bit slower tempo than that. But these are really fucking good on a movement like the pendulum, where with the angle you can get a crazy amount of knee flexion. So it's like the most stretched position of your quad. And then doing the 1/4 rep in the bottom, it's just completely loading that really stretched position. Explode to the bottom. It's a nice way to get some nice juicy big quads. And strengthen a full range of motion, which is great for your knees. Double bonus. You got real lightheaded after these sets. It'd be cool if I passed out though.
Good content.
Great content. That was cool. That was really cool.
Halfway through the race, on like 100 and something, 180 miles or whatever it was, he laid down on the grass, just to like take a second, he fell asleep. And he woke up 20 minutes later, was like, fuck, I gotta finish the race, and he sprinted the last bit of it at 100 and something miles.
Yeah, those guys are absolute animals. I don't think I can run that far, or bike, or swim. Maybe I'll do an Ironman one day. 250-pound Ironman. If there was no swim, I might try and do one just for the shits of it. Just to like do something hard, you know? But I will drown. I will literally drown if there's a swim. Like you will never, C-Bum, rest in peace. I'm dead. It's not happening.
Comes up, he just right to the bottom. Yeah.
Not to mention how stressful it is when everyone's fighting. Like people talk about like getting hit and kicked in the face. If the triathlon started or Ironman, I would literally just be like, they'd all go and I would just be waiting. And then I would like backstroke like this the whole way. Put floaties in my like swimsuit.
Where were we? St. Thomas, we had a fucking pool noodle here, pool noodle here.
Yeah, and some kid recognized me too. I'm like in the water with a bunch of noodles because I don't float. And someone's like, is that C-Bum? Alright, so next up is a sled pull. This is something I'd never done before until last week. You essentially attach these ankle cuffs to your ankles, 2 ropes on it with a carabiner in the middle that can slide. You hook this onto the sled, and in the first movement I'm doing is for my hip flexors. So I'm standing with the things attached to you, and you pull like a high step up, so that pulls the sled forward, and then you step and you just walk like that. So it's like a 40 seconds total. And the next one is adduction, abduction. So you face one way then the other. When you're facing forward, you step with your right leg, adducting your groin, and then abducting glute hip on the other leg. So you just walk like that. And it's a 40-second march each way. I timed it last time. If I do a correct tempo to walk from one side to the other, it's about 45 seconds. And I don't have to go out in the blistering sun. So I'm trying to do it in this little alleyway in my gym. So again, just kind of strengthening motor patterns that my body's not used to. Getting ready to sprint, getting ready to jump. Also just strengthening myself in different strength curves so that I don't get injured as I try and get really strong this year. I'm curious myself watching the video back from the first set versus that set, like the difference I feel in my body of like, if you think of sprinting, of like stepping forward and like your hips are like, your pelvic is tucked and you're just like driving forward and then like down again. Like I was being able to keep a constant time under, my brain's not working, be able to keep constant time under tension on a movement like that. I felt like I was like sprinting in like molasses, or like you're in like quick standing, you're trying to just run. But like same kind of form, same muscles activated. So actually mind muscle connection wise, that felt really cool. All right, so that's a wrap on today's workout. As you can see, the workouts are progressing to being a little bit more like jackletic. I'm not gonna say the word hybrid because that word has been ruined, but being able to combine being jacked, moving a lot of weight, hypertrophy, building muscle, looking huge, looking shredded, but also getting some functional movements in there. It's coming. So that's kind of the goal for this year, locking it in. So this is the current leg day. We're rolling it right now. The goal is to progress in the weighted movements I was doing, like the pendulum, glute ham raise, split squat, increase load every single week. And then the movement after, like the sled push and everything, is just like that last set was like really good, but being able to perfect that and do it every single set and just building that perfect mind muscle connection. So kind of different aspects of the workout I'm trying to perfect in this current phase of my training. I can't get this clip off of me while I talk. Jeez.